Okay, so we're doing a little proof of concept here in the game Heretic. There's a secret item which is the equivalent of Doom's chainsaw, and that is the gloves of the Necromancer. And when I first found them, I thought, man, these are great. You could do a really cool effect with these. And you can find them really early on in the game. And yeah, when I saw them, I thought they could actually make a really good, a good visual effect. You could do a lot with it if you had lightning dancing around the place. So here they are here, and we can see how that's green lightning coming out of these dark leather spiky gloves, and I just thought, well, that's just brilliant. You could do many things with these, and so with that I decided to set out and set myself a project in After Effects for it. So we can see by default we've got this green lightning effect bouncing out of your hands. But once you have the Tome of Power, which I'm just getting here, suddenly that becomes a bright red beam just here. And you can see you've got this little aura kind of dancing on your fingers as you use it. And I thought it was just a really cool effect, and you could have more than one composition that takes this into account. So my challenge to myself was to actually recreate this in After Effects, and I thought I might as well just document my progress so far. So this was the initial look of the lightning, and if I preview this and use all of my laptop's resources, we'll get a look into what it looks like. I'm actually not too sure if it's going to do a thing. Oh, here we go. In this initial thing, I was kind of more focusing on what I liked the look of, just purely based off this effect. And the shitty rendition of the gloves was made in Inkscape, which is tolerable at best. And despite the really slow previews, and I'm not used to this 2017 version of After Effects, but I'm getting there. Kind of get a vague idea. I can probably play it back. I'll just stop that. You can see kind of how it looks, and I do like the look of it, but the thing that the Heretic gloves have, Gauntlets, is the shake. There's a whole lot of hand shake. The lightning is thicker and it's a bit more wavy. It looks more like you're sapping the soul out of your enemies. And of course this looks quite smooth, and I suppose it's an artifact of you can only store so many frames of animation for like a Doom Engine game. We can have as many as you want, but back then, 1995, it was kind of, you had limits. And I suppose that's my only kind of qualm about this, is the fact that it is quite smooth, despite the fact that I've really tried to make things jagged. That was the initial thing, and then this is the Tome of Power version, and this one had the best looking red, at least I found initially. You can see here, still exact same animation, same speed, same rate. Probably to achieve the full effect within After Effects, if I want to stick with it, it'll just take a lot of playing with various advanced lightning parameters and keyframes and different rates of change and whatever. We can see here, you kind of get the general gist of that as well. I don't know if I made this one. I think I made this one more jagged. I might have upped the complexity under the advanced thingy. Quite like that one. So then my next test was to make big lightning and make it a bit more soul sucking, I suppose, but a bit smoother. And it sort of worked, but like if you saw from that first frame there, it does look very simplistic, I suppose. The lightning looks very simple. You can see I kind of have some awkward effects left over from the previous comp, and it seems I have frozen. Okay. I think my main problem with the advanced lightning is the fact that I've got it aiming all at the center. Like, that's a good frame. That's not such a good frame. Before, everything was aimed really tightly around a central point. Yeah, that's an alright frame. Yeah, and then look at that. It's still quite it's kind of a weird. I don't know. It doesn't jump. The lightning doesn't jump from position to position well enough. Actually, because of the nature of the plugin, Advanced Lightning, it does look very smooth. Kind of more like what lightning would look like, which the Gauntlets don't so much have. Then again, we have the Tome of Power version, which has extremely red lightning. I found it more difficult to actually have the kind of orangey-ish highlights. You can see there's a couple around there and there, but it's nothing extremely good. If we try and RAM preview that, probably not much point. It's the exact same as the other one, but maybe I think I might have upped the complexity. See, that's an example of the shitty frames where it goes too close, clumps together, where it's more of a wide spray. When you shoot the gauntlets. Get a wee look at that. Yeah, I think you can kind of see it's a little bit more harsh. I'm pretty sure I did up the complexity on that one. Doesn't look terrible. So then, Lightning 25, don't know where I got the name. This has a bunch of extra stuff because I started doing more terrible vector frames for the gloves, but I found that this was pretty much the closest I got it looking to bits of lightning. You can kind of see them around here, but I need proper little, like, springly bits, proper particles to kind of replicate that look. And this one seems to be partially rendered. I do like this one the best because I kind of made a combination of the two, but even so, looking at the original animation again, you can see it doesn't wave at all. I suppose it'll be a matter of figuring out how to actually achieve that wavy kind of soul effect while also having the kind of sparkly, digitally kind of square looking lightning at the base. And this is rendering way better for whatever reason, but if we have a look at that, we can see very jagged, kind of everywhere actually, now that I look at it again. But you can see, like, with the jagged bits, if I scroll through it here, you can see you've got the brightest beams and the most still beams that's kind of trying to get the wavy ones from the original. And then with the small ones we've got the jagged base bits, but of course they're not at the base, they're everywhere. But I do like that one the most. And then this one I think I found slightly, oh no, it's still quite red. I suppose like looks roughly the same. At least. So if we try running this out, it's a bit slower. This one, I think I upped the complexity by 1 or 2, just the standard thing. And actually, you can see when it's in motion that there is a bit of that light clustering. Yeah, you can see down in my timeline that everything's set to add just about, which definitely helps with such an effect. But yeah, I think my main annoyances here is that there's too much lightning everywhere, and there needs to be more control. And actually, the extension of this, I do like the look of it, but the extension of it would definitely to be there to put it in a 3D program with a proper particle system. So when you shoot it out of the hands, lightning leaps forth. Pardon me, you have the 3 kind of different aspects. You've got the little particles, you've got the kind of base sprinkles, I don't even know what to call them anymore, and then you've got the main soul suckers, just to really put a point on it. And yeah, you shoot them out, lightning leaps forth, and when it hits a surface, it kind of, there's all sorts of things you can do. You can have little particles spout out, you can have arcs around the place to the surroundings, or there's like just a simple kind of light, see it kind of hitting, where it hits there's a light, I don't know, shit way of describing it. And then or actually you could have it like veins in the wall, or wherever it hits you shoot it and then it hits the wall, all kind of veins popping out instead of a light, but just ideas. Look at that. That looks like an extremely complicated version of the other one. Let's scroll through some frames. I don't quite know what I was going for here. Looks incredibly complicated. Yeah, it just looks kind of absurd actually. Yeah, Jesus, there's shit everywhere. Oh, pardon me, but it looks kind of out of control, and I suppose in some ways that actually works with what the term of power is, but at the same time it doesn't look that great. It's too clumped together. Yeah, that's, I mean, no, I don't love it. I prefer this one, honestly. It's like, I can handle that one. Can't handle that one. I made a sample scene, it's the last thing I'll look through, where we have the lightning against like just a really bog standard stone wall, castle wall texture. Tried it out with a light or two. Kind of worked, kind of didn't. I don't know, I can run preview it, but I didn't do my keyframes for the wiggler on the light right. This is done in probably like, I don't know, 10-15 minutes. This thing, all this crap put together. Let's render out a second, that'll do. Just to get a look. See, kind of, like it's sort of there. But of course, as I said near the beginning, the hands need more shake. The lightning could do to be better in every way, including being fully 3D. All sorts of things. Fully 3D gloves, more animation on the gloves because there's not enough. But I am pretty happy with it so far, so I thought, why not document it? Kind of a big project at this point, and we'll see where it goes. Yeah.